So at 14, I just realized, I have to make the most of life. I don't want to live a life of regret, and I don't want to live an average life either, in terms of just living and then working and then coming back home, watch TV, and then the cycle begins. Like, I need to live a life where I am, living life to the full and also creating impact for other people.
Welcome back to GenZTalks, where today we're going to be discussing a few different topics relating to Generation Z, which include A-level results, university, growth mindset, personal development, Gen Z opportunities, and also a fantastic new group which has been started recently by our guest today, called It Starts With Action. I'd like to introduce our guest, who has just been officially accepted to the London School of Economics University. He's an aspiring entrepreneur, inspiring plenty of people in her generation, and who has a lot of goals going forward, which we're going to be discussing today. So I'd like to introduce Presence.
Hi, thank you, Dan, for letting me come on. Excited.
No, it's been it's a pleasure. I know we've spoke recently about a few things you're doing, but obviously I want to start by congratulating you on your fantastic A-level result. How was the day when you picked up your results?
Super anxious. Like, honestly, I didn't think I would get in because of exams being cancelled, and from the news they're saying how 40% of people had their grades go down. So I was super anxious, even though I knew in the back of my mind, wherever I go I'll be okay. I already have a plan for each whatever outcome, but I really wanted my first choice. So it was just building up to it. The day before, I had zero sleep. I stayed up with my friends to and then just chat, and then played a bit of Minecraft, and then woke up. Well, didn't wake up. Waited until 8, and then tried to get my results, go on track. And then the website crashed, I guess, because everyone was on it, and just took me an hour to finally check. So it was just build up, but found out, got in. I was just so shocked, so happy.
Been very strange summer, for people across the world, and for yourself, that's kind of capped off a very good summer for you, and it hasn't always been so positive for you. And I just wanted to go back to the beginning of your journey, and maybe you can tell the viewers about your previous battles and challenges you've had, and how you've come along since then.
Surprisingly, lockdown has probably been the best time of my life, which is weird to say, but my story started from when I was 9. So I was born in the UK, but I moved to Hong Kong when I was 9, and I didn't know the language. I was just put in a traditional Mandarin talking school, and so naturally I just failed a lot in school. Was really bad, had really bad grades. And the education system is they rank you on how well you are on the top in the class, and so people could see it, and naturally I was the one who would be good for bullies to pick on. So I started being bullied a lot for just how dumb I was, and then it got to a point where I just wanted to prove them wrong, and I'm going to work really hard, and I got to the best in a year, and then the bullying stopped. I thought that my life was going to be perfect then, and then I moved school, and then I started getting bullied again a lot for just how I looked. And from the experience of changing my grades to stop the bullying, I kind of applied that to trying to stop the bullying for how I looked, and that developed into anorexia for 5 years, to the point where I was sent to hospital because my body was literally shutting down, and I was told I was going to die if I didn't do anything, and I could feel my body shut down. I was 14 at the time, in hospital, lying in the bed, just realizing what I've done to myself, and how like I've been constantly changing myself for other people, trying so hard to fit in, so hard to please other people, to the point where now I'm literally, you know, probably I could die in a week. And looking back, like, am I proud of anything that I've achieved for myself? No, I haven't. I'm not proud at all. And I just realizing that if I was going to go just like that, would be so like, yeah, a lot of regret. And also the people that I tried most to please were the people who never really cared in the first place. So they didn't really notice me vanishing from school. And so that got me really just, I needed to change. And so, yeah. And also in hospital, you realize how lucky you are when you surround yourself with people who are constantly suffering every day for I think 3 months. And the girl next to me, I always mention her because she reminds me a lot of how lucky I am to like do everything I can, because she was paralyzed and she's paralyzed for life, and she's just, that's her life. And so at 14 I just realized, you know, I have to make the most of life. I don't want to live a life of regret, and I don't want to live an average life either, in terms of just, you know, living and then working and then coming back home, watch TV, and then the cycle begins. Like, I need to live a life where I am, you know, living life to the full and also creating impact for other people.
I can see certainly more Generation Z going down that route, in terms of creating opportunities for themselves and the chance to, there's a real kind of feeling amongst the generation, which I'm feeling, you know, from being outside, that you want to make a difference, and you've got the opportunity to do so because of the tools that are available now. And one of the things that you've done during the summer, which has been very positive and making an impact, like you've discussed, has been a new group you created called It Starts With Action. Could you tell us more about this? What was behind this, and what is the purpose and the goal?
So It Starts With Action is the podcast, and then the community, which is on Discord, is Starts With Action Gang, so swag for short. But kind of the beginning actually started from me just doing personal statement webinars for like for year 12s who are applying to uni, and their concern was not being able to do work experience because of COVID. It was locking down, and so that got me thinking in terms of people are not creating their own opportunities, and they can actually go and do stuff. They don't need to rely on like a bank offering work experience to apply and do it. They can go out and create something of their own. And then just talking about that, they everyone has so many things they want to do, like whether it's starting a business or starting a podcast, or even just like reaching out to someone to talk to, like finding work experience themselves, just reaching out on someone on LinkedIn and chatting with them. Some of them they want to do it, but they can't do it. They're scared. There are lots of fears. And also COVID has meant lots of people are just worried all the time about the future, and like it's just like not taking action towards something. So I just realized maybe, and my whole life before was always kind of taking action. Like recovering from my eating disorder was so hard, and it was just like taking action when I didn't feel like it. So kind of the idea came, it starts with action. Everything starts with action. Like you will never get where you want to be unless you do something. And it's so straightforward and easy. You know, Nike says like just do it. But actually so much behind the scenes. Like fear, rejection, failure, perfectionism, like all of that. So I started the podcast to really talk about other people's experiences, as well as reach out to people who want to do something but aren't doing it. And so going on calls with them one-to-one privately, I've realized just how important the message is, and how more like the more I talk about it, the more I realize actually more people need to listen to this. And so that started the podcast, and then I started the group because I realized actually people actually like the podcast. I never expected that many people to listen to it. It's more of like a hobby thing, but people started to resonate with the message, and so starting the group has allowed me to, well, it's still new, but I'm planning to do, so I do monthly calls with them to talk about what they're doing and take action, and I plan to kind of maybe do a monthly challenge together to like step out of our comfort zone and take action together as a community every month on something, because I'm all about like always trying to get to your next best version of yourself, and always pushing yourself to grow, and getting out of the comfort zone, because that's just been my whole life. And
Well, that's it.
So,
And that moves us on nicely to LinkedIn, actually. Because I saw a survey where 82% of students are using LinkedIn to kind of further their prospects. And so I know you're an active user, and Generation Z are becoming more and more active. Is this something that you encourage someone of your age, your generation, to really embrace in LinkedIn, especially during lockdown where networking can't be done in person, certainly not to any extent of big groups.
wow.
So what opportunities has LinkedIn given you? And
Ah.
I think, you have a lot to say.
No, 100%. I think like I 100% recommend LinkedIn. I like I think as someone like just before lockdown, I struggled a lot with just talking to people in general. So going out there and to networking events in person, I would definitely not be able to do that. So I think if you're shy and you want to like get to know a bit more like people in the industry, then definitely go on LinkedIn. But I wouldn't say just use LinkedIn to reach out to people a few steps ahead of you and people who are doing big things. Like reach out to people similar age, like students, because like you never know. Like literally, my best friend or friends, I met them all through LinkedIn. I've never seen them before. I mean, we're gonna meet up in 24th, and then I have another friend who I met in the US. But I literally, they're the best people I've ever known in my life, and it's through LinkedIn. But I think it's because on LinkedIn, I guess when you're young, you put more of like your like interests, and so you will naturally attract like-minded people. As opposed to Instagram, it's more like I don't know. I don't like Instagram, so it's just like life food, but
Yeah.
for LinkedIn, make it clear about your interests, like you're interested in economics or law or something, and I make it clear that I am interested in economics, but I'm also all about personal development. And if you read my bio, then it's very clear that I tell people that if you love personal development, entrepreneurship, into like growth mindset, then definitely reach out to me. I'd love to call. That's how I met all my like amazing friends. So
I was actually you made a good point actually, which I just want to interrupt, sorry to jump in,
sorry, yeah.
about surrounding yourself by positive people, the importance of this. And, this can help someone who maybe who's really struggling at the moment to maybe look into who is offering, to look at your circle of people around you, in terms of the positiveness, how much value of friendship, all this. It doesn't have to be business, it can be friendship, it can be anything. But
I think it's super important. It's like I always thought that I was a problem in terms of that I used to go to a few schools where just really unacademic, and I was kind of the academic one, and I was always picked on, and just I thought the problem was me. I always thought the problem was always me, but actually the problem wasn't me. It was about the people I surrounded myself. Wasn't my type, wasn't my tribe. And so once you find the people that are actually kind of interested in what you do and that have similar interests and like-minded, then you realize that you were never the problem. It's just you weren't surrounded in the right environment.
I think it's very exciting actually, the new opportunities that could be coming, and especially with the entrepreneurial mindset that seems to be very common amongst Generation Z. The ability to create new things, new projects, new businesses, which is this sort of mindset that I think can really benefit businesses as well. If you end up working for a company, in terms of bouncing back from the pandemic, to come up with some fresh ideas, and to kind of, I think Generation Z are more suited to the skills and technology skills as work offices change, the environment changes at a time when Generation Z are coming up. And this has kind of been sped up by the pandemic. But I do honestly believe Generation Z are on hand to deal with the changes and are skilled enough to kind of learn new things that's needed to. Do you think that your ability to learn new things should be embraced by the older generations in terms of new skills, your ability to learn quick and change with the times, which is needed more than ever now?
Yeah, definitely. I think being able to learn quickly and learn different things is like it's funny how, I guess, like, I don't know, I've been listening some like businesses think, you don't have this school skill, so they're not going to choose you, when actually, we can learn it on this, we can learn it during it, we can, yeah, like we aren't fixed in terms of skills, we can learn it all the time, anytime. So that shouldn't stop older people at a firm from like recruiting or choosing someone for work experience. I don't know. But yeah, I think we learn so quickly, and it's really easy to learn anything now online.
Yeah.
So I'm
See, I just want to talk about the very quickly is the rejections I'm seeing from Generation Z are receiving for new graduate jobs that are asking for like 10 years experience, asking for 3 years experience, and then hiring someone with 15 years.
Yeah.
What do you say about that in terms of companies hiring people with so much experience? I mean, can you see them being as motivated? And is this unfair on Generation Z to stop this new generation coming through?
I think I guess, as someone who was new, who doesn't have that many years of experience, I would be the person who would be super grateful and super excited if I got the opportunity, which would mean I would work extra hard and put in the extra effort to really learn everything I can, to get the like everything out of the experience of, to like learn and grow and like, yeah, provide as much value as I can, because I'm new, because I don't have that much experience. Therefore, I'm going to try my best to prove that I can still do it. So I feel like with that mindset, then I really hope that firms could believe in that, and how just because you don't have that much skill and experience now, it doesn't mean you're not going to be good on the job or like during the internship or something. It just means that you're going to push yourself harder to make sure you get to the level that they're happy with.
Yeah,
kind of.
no, I agree. And yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And it's in terms of, you have to look at the bigger picture from where I'm looking at. The ability to grow with the company, the motivation, which is so important for jobs. And, how motivated is someone with 15 years, 10 years experience going to be when someone who, a younger generation whose first job, who wants to give it everything. So yeah, I do think that's an interesting argument in terms of the experienced worker versus the Generation Z going for the jobs.
We might make more mistakes, but we won't we might make a bit more mistakes, but we're going to grow.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a learning curve at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I think over time, me personally, I think it's, there's strong arguments for, kind of giving Generation Z more credibility for these job roles and, more opportunities, more importantly.
Yeah.
So I just want to look at, finally, the next 12 months for presence. What actions do you hope to take? What are your goals? I know you're starting university. So, that's another question actually within this question is, how are you going to balance university with swag, and what do you hope to achieve by this time next year?
So I think obviously it's just like settling in uni, just like time management I really need to learn. I'm definitely not going to give up on my goal of entrepreneurship, being a coach, and swag, because it's brought to me so much joy and fulfillment. I can't imagine giving that up. So it really is, I guess, sacrificing a bit of social life. I mean, I never had a social life anyway, and I was always striving for 100% in tests. So but after lockdown, I realized that grades really isn't everything. And so I would try my best to do well in uni, but if I don't get a first in the first year, that's before I was oh, I have to get a first year. But now I'm as long as I pass, then I would say that my university first year has gone well, and therefore it means I have more time to really focus on learning more about marketing, sales, being a better coach, learning more skills of coaching, and actually practicing the coaching, and building that up, as well as continuing with the podcast and just continue to engage with the community. I'd love to do like meetups, and like real in life events. I don't know if that's possible first year, but maybe near the end, you never know, it might be possible to arrange an in-person It Starts With Action summit event if that's possible. And I also have I don't have a specific idea, but I do really want to launch It Starts With Action Academy, which is going to be an online platform, more of an education thing, but I still don't have a clear vision in terms of what content it is, but I do really want that to happen within maybe the end of the year. But if it doesn't happen, then that's fine, because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but it would be a vision of this year. We'll see. I don't know how intense university is going to be, but yeah.
Well, you've been on an incredible journey so far, an inspiring journey, and I can see a very bright future ahead. And I look forward to maybe doing some collaboration in the future with yourself, because I love your energy,
100%.
and I've seen on the videos on your YouTube channel the energy and the positive reactions you get from yourself. So I think that says a lot about your personality and drive. So well done, Presence, and thanks for joining us today.